Hi, Sassy Onions. This is Christy Chanel, and I am back with another video. We're going to talk a little bit about what I went through growing up. I was born in Dallas. My mom and father were divorced before I was one. She met my stepdad when I was 5. They fell in love. They ended up being together 20 years before she passed away. We moved to New Jersey, Colonia. It was a little bit rough on me in the beginning because I was a little Southern girl and with a Southern accent moving to the East Coast. So in elementary school, it was called Texas Turkey, Corroded Christy. It was trying, to say the least. But I overcame it. Then I went to middle school and it all changed. It was much, much better after that. I met some awesome people. High school was crazy. I was with pretty much almost all of my high school years with one person. And unfortunately, that relationship set the pattern for the future. I didn't know it then, but now I'm like, okay. But all of it's a lesson. All of it, you learn from it. So I was surrounded by really strong, really awesome girls, women. They have gone on to be amazing, inspirational to me. All the time I see their stuff and I'm like, I am just blown away. And it's inspiring me to want to get out and do my part. And as small as it may be, it's still my part. And I have a voice too, just like you do. And I need to use it because we need to stand together and promote each other and empower each other and get through this crazy time right now together. So going back, my mom, we didn't know it at the time, but was later diagnosed with bipolar. It makes sense now. It made sense when she was diagnosed, but it was crazy because we didn't know it until I graduated high school and moved to Indiana, where my dad was living at the time, just to get out there and learn a bit about who I am and try it out there. And, I was 17, 18, wanted to see what the world was like. But when I did that, it pushed my mom into a tailspin. And she started having serious separation anxiety. And I kind of felt like it was my fault. Just really, really bad. Really, really, really bad. So she was diagnosed while I was in Indiana and slowly put her life back together with medication. And our relationship was better. I mean, it never was bad. See, I don't want to give that impression. I don't think our relationship was ever bad. She was the one I turned to for everything. I would tell her everything. And so for me, it was never bad. I think it was I just had a lot of pressure because leaving made me feel horrible. Because, I don't know. I didn't know. She didn't know. So I did my little life thing there, and fast forward to when I heard. I was in Dallas with my boyfriend at the time, soon later becomes my husband. And I called my mom because Austin, my son, had hit a Grand Slam home run, and I wanted to tell her about it because I told her everything. I mean, everything. And she answered, and when she answered the phone, she sounded like drugged out almost, not completely coherent. I noticed it because I said, "Mom, you sound drugged out. What is wrong with you?" She said she was just tired. I said, "Okay, well, go back to sleep." She's like, "Well, do you want me to call your stepdad?" Well, she didn't say stepdad, but I'm telling you, stepdad, so you know what, father. Do you want me to call your dad and tell him about the Grand Slam home run? And I said, no. Let me tell him. And she said, okay. We didn't say I love you that conversation, but we said it a lot. So I don't have any like, oh my gosh, I wish I had said that to her. She knew. I knew. So I went to take a nap because we were going to go shopping for her birthday, which was in 2 days on June 7th. Her birthday's on June 7th. And so I took a nap. The phone started ringing a couple hours after that. And I didn't pick it up. I was tired. I wanted to sleep. And then it rang again. And so I picked up the phone, and it was my stepdad. And I'll never forget the words he said. He said, "Christy, she's gone." I knew what he meant, but I acted like I didn't. It didn't register. I didn't really quite understand it. I didn't understand it. So I cried, screamed. My dad had called me because I lived in Texas, and he called me and he said, "Hey, we're going out gambling in Louisiana. Do you guys want to go with us?" And when I told them, they ended up coming over, and for some reason I just wanted to get out and drive. And it was pretty traumatic to me because, like I said, she was my best friend. That was it for me. And what it ended up being was she had fallen down the stairs and hurt her back. She was prescribed medication over the phone. Her regular doctor went on vacation. And the medication, I don't know if it mixed with her bipolar medicine, which was a lot, or what, but it was Tylenol with codeine, and it ended up stopping her heart. And that's what she died of. My stepdad came home, and he found her sitting there on the couch. He had it much worse than I did. A lot worse than I did. I wished I could go back and say, call my dad and tell him about Austin, and maybe he would have heard something in your voice that I didn't hear in her voice, like I'm talking to her. But it changed my life because there's before she died and there's after she died. I think I was probably in a tailspin for maybe 20 years. I know that sounds crazy because you should get over it in a few months, move on. And maybe everyone thought on the outside world I had. I even thought I had. But I hadn't at all. I was now out there with no safety net. So it caused a lot of problems later on in my life, which I'll get to at another time. But my Aunt Karen gave me a journal. I had been writing in a journal since I was about, say, 8. But she had given me a journal when my mom died, and she said, you need to write. And I did. It's hard for me to open that journal, because it's raw. But the things that you forget over time are all in that journal. And if I want to go back and want to remember, when there's things that I do want to remember, then I can open that journal and go back there in time. And I've had a journal. I still have a journal today. So I write all the time. It helps me. It's good for me. But yeah, you never kind of get over losing a parent. Never. But I feel that today she would be proud of me. And I hope she'll be proud of me later too. Because I have things to accomplish. And so I'm being raw. I'm sharing a little bit of who I am. And this is video number 2. So thank you for listening. I know some of you have felt the way I have felt. But it's okay. It's part of life. It's part of the circle of life. And I am lucky to have had her part of mine. Talk to you soon, sassy onions. You have a great day. Bye.